Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from all of the vast, farthest reaches from the internet. I am so happy today that you gathered here to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Now remember, if you're listening to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. You have absolutely no idea. It helps with the show so immensely much. Remember, now, folks, a little bit of an update. I guess it depends on when you're listening to this episode in the timeline of our current space-time continuum. There is now, so Q&A is back on Spotify, but it's actually comments now. So you can respond to this week's episode by going to my podcast, going to the most recent episode or any episode for that matter, clicking the description, and now you can leave a comment instead of answer a question. So you can answer this week's question in the comments section, and I can see those, and now I can actually reply too, because I know sometimes that it was frustrating for people that there was no reply feature, but now I can actually reply to your comment and publish it and post it, and I'm pretty sure you will be notified when your response is public. So please go and use the comments feature to, answer the question for this week's episode. And but also don't forget about our subreddit as well, r/Reddit Asks Us, where you can post maybe a little bit of a longer form comment. But aside from that, this is an ad-supported show, so there will be an ad break about 10 minutes into the show, 10 to 15 minutes into the show, and another break 20 minutes to 30 minutes into the show. Then please go and check out my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube channel at Reddit Asks Us Podcast, where I post new short-form content every single day. So please go ahead and check that out. It's really fun, really easy, bingeable content to watch, and it's a hoot and a holler. So please go and check that out. Join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit, where there's a new episode mega thread posted every single week where you can post and talk about all things podcast related. You can also answer the poll, so please go ahead, and every week there's a new, it closes after 1 week, but every week there is a new poll that you can answer, a would you rather. So we're going to be reading out the results from the last would you rather and doing that. So anyways, why don't we read out the comments from last week. So last week's episode, I'm just going to go and find it here. Episode 210. Episode 210. I can't believe we're already there, folks. So first one comes from Stressed Human. So sorry, last week's episode was, how did you mess around and find out? First one comes from Stressed Human. I forgot to wear my sunscreen in a UV index of 10 while in water. I got burned. Also, for my comment last week, I forgot to say he's the reason my managers made it to policy to always have deodorant, cologne, perfume, something like that in your bag while at work. So that was from episode 109, but like that last little bit on the comment there. But that's before that statement had to be made. That must have been horrifying. And I commented back at you, but that happened to my dad when we went on vacation one time in the Caribbean, or whatever you want to call it. He went snorkeling. He was that white man. He was that old. Well, he wasn't necessarily old, but he was that like dad on vacation who just comes back and his whole back was as red as a frickin' tomato. Like he just comes back. It's like, how, like, do you have a great time, Dad? Oh yeah, I had a great time. Slaps him on the back and he just shrivels. He shrivels like no man I had ever seen shrivel. Just in excruciating amounts of pain. Next one comes from Moonlight. Thank you for commenting so much, Moonlight. I ate 64 Reese's all in one night. Another time I drank a Monster and felt sick for 3 days straight. See, people, so there's this, you see the memes and the things about, oh, Monster Energy is this thing from the devil. No, it is just battery acid. Monster Energy is just that thing that just is eating away at your stomach lining. People are complaining, oh, it's this Satan worshipping drink, it's the devil thing, and it's like 666 or whatever. You see those memes, and it's a sin, it's an abomination. No, it's none of that stuff. Okay, if you look at the can, it's pretty obvious that this is just straight up acid. This is just sulfuric acid in a can. it's going to melt through your insides. No wonder you felt sick for 3 days straight. You are drinking literal poison. I'm surprised you didn't melt into just a little puddle on the ground and just, dissipate and then just evaporate into the air. It's like from Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, when all the Nazis are just melting. That is what it feels like to drink a Monster Energy. I am not down. 64 Reese's all in one night? 64? That feels like one of those things where it's like you have this like mental inclination. You like look at all, you buy like enough Reese's that would make up 64, and you look at those packages and you're like, wow, I'm gonna eat all of these. And it just looks so amazing in your mind. And then by the time you're actually done, I think you're never gonna eat another Reese's ever again. It's the last time you will ever eat Reese's. And it's appetizing to look at. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I don't know if it's very, pleasing to the gastrointestinal system, the digestive system. It's very, aesthetically pleasing, yes. Digestive, maybe not so much. Last one on Spotify comes from Ferdy Based, I think. I was on vacation in Croatia, and I should have eaten more ice because I got a throat infection and sunstroke at the same time because I stayed inside the tent too much. You guys were tenting in Croatia? Croatia's not the first place. I wonder if you're European or if you're British, because I know that I do have a lot of fans over from the UK region of the world. But shout out to all my British and UK listeners. I love all of you. But I didn't know Croatia was a spot to camp. It's like, bro, I went camping recently. Oh, nice. Where'd you go? Like, did you head out to the Rockies, or just somewhere in Ontario maybe? Nah, dude, Croatia. Croatia's the spot now, man. I can't believe you haven't heard about this. Croatia is literally Croatia and Romania, dude. It's like, and then you can even go to Albania too. Like, don't even stop there. It's like, oh, I didn't know they had good camping in Croatia. That's not something that's not necessarily what I pegged Croatia for having, I don't really think on the surface of it Croatia's known for their beautiful, luscious camping spots. It's a perfect place. You're looking to fry some s'mores, like cook up some burgies over the fire, maybe some dogs even, maybe some glizzies. You'll never cook a glizzy better than when you cook it in fucking Croatia, man. I am telling you, bro. I've never had better campfire glizzies than in Croatia. I'm telling you, dude. You gotta get out there, bro. You gotta get out to Croatia. It's better. You're gonna beat out every s'more you could possibly have in the entire world. Is going to seem like dog water compared to what they've got going on in Croatia. I don't know how they do it, but there's something. They're cooking something different out there. Now we're going to head over to the subreddit. So on the mega thread for this past week, we have the first comment coming from the topic. Hey, I once again ask you to stop with the brain rot. I'm not going to stop. I told you, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to use it less, try to, be conservative with my use of the brain rot, but I'm not going to stop because I am down. Okay, I'm down with the cause. I'm not out for the count. All right, I'm not out for the count, and I'm down with the cause. So we are living through this era. All right, I want people to look back and cringe so hard that their eyeballs are just going to invert because of how much brain rot that I've been using. No, I'm just kidding. For the Would You Rather, I think I'd want to be born. So last year, the Would You Rather from last week was, would you rather be born 10 years in the past or 10 years in the future? It was pretty obvious. Everybody said 10 years in the past, which, that was interesting. It depends, I guess, on when you were born, to have that opinion. But, what might change that? But I'm pretty sure it was overwhelmingly in the past. This is our love for nostalgia that we have. Sounds like a much cooler time to grow up in the 90s. For the question, here's a funny one that they found. Was hanging out drinking with a world title challenging welterweight boxer. We put on gloves just messing around until I landed a left jab, and then I proceeded to find out. You'll never see the look in somebody's eyes. Like when you see somebody who's good at a sport and you kind of just like you might, and like, this is what they do. No, you'll find out real quick. No. This is what they do. This is what they do. All right. I love basketball, but it's, you get a little cocky, you score a bucket or two on the tall guy, and then you'll never score in the paint for the rest of the game. Or to be honest, for the rest of the day. I think he's going to sub on. He's going to play for the other teams and substitute himself onto the court so that he can smack your shit through the ground and tunnel its way to completely eviscerate and evaporate a basketball in the core of the earth. That's how it means to so much of these people. Like the tall dude, for sure, but the tall dude who played uni basketball, come on, bro. You don't have a chance. As for myself, I don't make seriously stupid decisions, so good on me. Very, they're good on you. And have an amazing day, Luke. Thank you very much. Next one comes from Creepy Mushroom 1135. Hey, Luke and listeners, I've been listening to the podcast for a couple months now on Spotify in my free time while I write, draw, study, etc. Well, I'm glad that you do so. That's awesome. I just want to say that the podcast is super entertaining, and I looked at the older stuff, and my God, has the podcast come a long way, so keep it up. Yeah, the podcast has definitely come a long way, that's for sure. It is really not the same show that it used to be. Some of you listeners don't even know how the show really used to be. The show used to be, like, no, I never even used to read the comments. I just used to sit down with people who I knew or were friends with in the community and just would try to answer the questions, and it was terrible. I don't know why anyone even thought about listening to that show. It was so awful. I think most of my guests that came on the show were like, that's something I'm gonna never do again. Oh, I thought podcasting was fun. I thought you said podcasting was supposed to be a good time. This was really weird and just boring as shit. Almost forgot the Would You Rather. I'd actually like to be born 10 years in the past. Growing up, I'd always had an affinity for older stuff, like older console games, and seeing as though I was born in the early 2000s, it was really cool to experience it firsthand. Also, just because our modern society is kind of garbage. So, yeah, I'd just rather live a better life before the horrors of the 2000s. That's very true. That is, yeah, and then, maybe buy some property while you're at it. Well, it's still relatively cheap. Next one, last one comes from I Took a Poop Today, which is our boy, Phil Savannah. There's no way to comment on Spotify so that I can tell. So, yeah, now you can, Phil. There is a feature. It just rolled out. So I don't know why Spotify was a literal potato in getting this rolled out. I honestly think a potato could have done a better job at getting this feature rolled out, but it's fine. As for the question of the week, I remember seeing a guy on the news here who was downtown at an outside restaurant who slapped a waitress on the butt. She slammed him into the ground, held him there, and the guy was arrested with charges. His wife left him when she found out about all the other stuff he was doing. He slapped around and found out. I don't even, come on, dude. That has got to be the dumbest decision you could possibly make. What year do you think it is? It's the women around here. It's a natural place and time, and it's a natural pecking order to the way society is supposed to be ordered, with the men at the top and the women at the bottom. As he's saying this, with this chick's elbow on his neck, just sucking the life out of this man. Pause. Just tearing the life out of this man. Just no chance for him to come back to reality after that one. I don't understand why people think they can do this stuff. It's like, yeah, let me do something completely illegal in front of a ton of people, and let's just move on. Like it's 1925. Yeah, that's I'm surprised that's what happened to you. I'm actually more shocked that you just didn't end up permanently brain damaged, because that wouldn't really surprise me at all either. All right, so we're going to read off the Would You Rather, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for this week's episode. So the Would You Rather is, would you rather get whatever food you want for free whenever, or travel anywhere for free whenever? So that's a tough one. I think, you know what? For me, it's got to be travel. It's got to be travel. I mean, food for free is just amazing, but I mean, like, I feel like traveling is one of those things where, you live one life, you only really get a chance to see the world once. Food is like, you can always find, really cool places to eat and for whatever price. I don't know. I feel like it's not I understand why someone would want the food for free thing, because that would be significant cost lifted off of you, but also just traveling for free whenever you want. I don't know. That sounds pretty dope to me. But anyways, we'll see what you have to say in the next week's Would You Rather. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with this week's episode. Welcome back, everybody. We're just going to hop right into this week's episode. I'm so psyched to be here. I'm so fucking psyched to be back with every single one of you. So I hope you are psyched to be here with me. As you can tell from the episode title, this week's episode is, what due to experience do you know now not to mess with? So we all have those very humbling experiences. This is kind of similar to last week's episode a little bit, but I think sometimes the mess around and find out that like that, because we're being a little cocky, we're being a little overconfident. This one I think is like we just genuinely went in with fine intentions, and then, we ended up really learning some valuable lessons. It happens to us all. Okay, there are times and opportunities where we discover that we don't think things through very fully, and that's going to teach us a lot. First one comes from the dad that grills. People who believe they have nothing to lose. That could be a late-stage addict or your average teenager. Also, anyone with cauliflower ears. I feel like the first and the second one go pretty hand in hand. If you have cauliflower ears, I'm going to pretty much assume you have absolutely nothing to lose. If you have cauliflower ears, if I see that person starting to get in some sort of altercation, I am Speedy Gonzales, okay? I am out of there. You're going to literally see my feet do the cartoon spin out. You're not even going to see them. It's going to be the circular cartoon Bugs Bunny. And I am out of there. Okay? I honestly, I don't think there's a person with cauliflower ear who couldn't knock me out straight up just using like a couple fingers or something. They just know, like, you don't get that without doing some serious martial arts or some serious fighting. You don't get into one fight or a couple street fights, and do the and get the cauliflower ear. No. You've been on the ground wrestling, fighting for your life for a long time. This is the audacity of people who just like to pick fights with like people who are in UFC or people who have done like martial arts, and they're just like, yeah, why don't I make the dumbest decision of my entire life? Why don't I go ahead and just put myself at the risk of dying? Okay, because you view this as a way to fight someone. They view it as actual life or death. They are viewing this that if they don't win in this fight against you, that their life itself is at stake. I think that they feel as though they have nothing and everything to lose. I really don't think a person with cauliflower ears is that's why they're gonna be like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to go down this road? Because when you go down this road, it's like, okay, yeah, you might be 6'4", and 250, but I'm Khabib Nurmagomedov. All right, I'm not sure if that's actually how you say his last name. I will choke you out using just my feet. Okay, I'm gonna be choking you out from behind your neck, and I will separate your spinal column from your brain stem. So, sure, pick that fight. But yeah, this is another one is like, yeah, I love how you went cauliflower ears, late stage addict, and average teenager. Average teenager. I feel like that's one is maybe a little bit like average teen. I was the average teenager. I feel like I would have not said I have something to. I would have said I think the average teenager has everything to lose. I don't know where the fuck you're growing up in, but the average teenager, gets decent grades, trying to move up in the world and, trying to make the best for themselves. They got expenses, they got to pay for things, paying their own phone bills, paying for their car, their gasoline, insurance, all this stuff. That's your average teenager, I think. Maybe they can't even afford stuff like that. They're just trying to make it by. I really don't think someone like that is going to risk their entire future on having a little scrap. I think I would say that's highly unlikely. Let me just completely decimate my future prospects of being at all successful in life because I'm feeling a little tingly today. My fists are feeling a little tingly today. Okay, I literally just blacksmithed a pair of brass knuckles. So I'm feeling kind of I'm feeling a little violent today. I think we know how a little violence gets to us. Everyone gets a little violent. All right. Not, we all know. Okay, but that inner John Wick just comes out of me and suddenly, it's no longer thank you, Miss Jones. It's what's up, Travis? I'm going to split your frickin' lip. Okay? I'm going to have to get 5 cops on me. Take me down. You can't do that. All right? You can't be going messing with your average teen, okay? All right? You think Conor McGregor, you want to mess with Conor McGregor? No. I'm your average fucking teen, bitch. Just wait till you get on my fucking doorstep. You ding dong ditch my house. I fucking dare you. I'm your average teen. All right? I'm capable of shit you don't even know. You think cauliflower ears are dangerous? Try fucking with your average skateboarder. All right? Try hitting the skate park every once in a while, would ya? All right? Try hitting the outdoor basketball courts. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Try hitting the baseball diamond after my game. All right, after my minor league game. Try hitting me up, all right? See what happens. Next one comes from Danny Oof. Iguanas. This happened about 25 years ago on a rare, cold South Florida morning. Wow, that's... Hello, Ernest Hemingway. This happened about 25 years ago on a rare, cold South Florida morning. You trying to seduce me? My dad, big guy with a soft spot for animals, found a frozen one in our backyard and decided to bring it inside in a closed-off room to warm up so that our dogs didn't get to it while it was offline. What? Oh my God. Really? Is this how we are as a society? I'm feeling the Dopix pain on this one, okay? Really, you're gonna say that an animal, because it was in a coma, was offline? Really? This is how we're approaching, like, is everything just turning into gamer terminology? Yeah, my grandma, unfortunately, this past weekend logged out of the chat. Yeah, it's tough. She got her last dub, all right? She emoted out of there, and we never saw her again. She's up in heaven watching replays, all right? She's just watching the lobby. She got booted from the lobby, unfortunately. So it's like, really? Can't we just not say she died? Well, it was offline. Well, it was logged out. Well, it was logged off. Well, the stream was ending. As soon as that thing warmed up, it was like a bat out of hell. Teeth, nails, and tail whipping cut him up pretty good. Eventually got out of a broom, and all my dad muttered was, "Ungrateful bastard." Yeah, because the fucking iguana knew. Yeah, the iguana was... No, I can just tell you right now what was going on in the iguana's head. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck am I? Where the fuck is my tree? Where the fuck is the tree? I was in a tree. I was in a tree like 5 seconds ago. Where the fuck am I? I'm in a room. I'm in a white enclosed area. Where the fuck what is happening? Okay, I think the iguana was rightfully panicking. How could your dad mutter ungrateful as if the iguana is just going to knock on the door and be like, "Hey guys, I just want to really thank you back there. I know you kind of picked me up in a bad situation and brought me into this completely foreign place that I am just absolutely utterly unfamiliar with and have no natural a sort of inclination to know what is going on or where I'm at, and everything here feels completely otherworldly to me. I feel like in the opposite of a natural environment. It feels absolutely artificial. But I just want to say, thank you. Thank you so much for doing that for me. I really appreciated your help, and I appreciate you looking out for me. It's really not often that people are giving back to the iguana community, and I think it's about time that we need to be grateful. Okay, we need to understand. We need to understand as iguanas our privilege. Okay, we need to check our privilege at the door, us iguanas, and understand that humans are looking out. So thank you all very much. I'm pleasured. Please let me treat you to a meal. It's my treat. Okay, whatever you want, centipedes, grasshoppers, whatever it is, it's on me. Okay, so don't worry, I got the bill tonight. I do. Like, what the fuck? As if an iguana has any comprehension of being grateful. Like, what do you expect him to do? Come out smoking a cigarette, just being like leaning up against the door, being like, "Wow, this really chilled me out. Thanks a lot for ripping me from my natural environment and putting me into a place so foreign that it's making its way into my most fundamental fear system that's hardwired into my brain. Thank you for doing that. You guys are really chill. I appreciate it." That's to me, that's kind of crazy. That really, you expect an iguana to be grateful? What? An iguana? I don't even think there's any animal out there that can like it's not a dog. Even okay, if cats don't give a shit, do you expect an iguana to really give a fuck about what you're doing for it? Sorry, I'm harping this, but this is just the logic there is kind of insane. Next one comes from construction sites. Next one comes from Drummer Bob 10. Construction sites. They're one of the most dangerous places to be, so you have to be paying attention all the time if you are on site. I feel like this one's kind of just obvious. Like, I feel like we kind of talked about this one a little bit last week, but it's like, I feel like a construction site is just the last place to let your guard down. To just take take the set off. Take the series off. Kick your feet up. While there is someone actively drilling into the ground with a massive drill. While there are people cutting things using just an immense amount of machinery. Just probably the most common dangerous machinery you could run by. I remember, I'll never forget an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die. I don't know if you know what 1,000 Ways to Die. If you're from America or from Canada, you probably are familiar with the TV show 1,000 Ways to Die. And there was one guy, I don't know exactly how accurate these deaths are, but they make them seem pretty accurate in the show, and they really don't spare a dime on making these people look really stupid. But there was this one guy who was driving one of those like concrete rollers, and he went to the bathroom in a porta potty, and he forgot to put it in park, and it rolled over. Apparently he was like drinking on the job, but like, I don't know how accurate that was. What if it was just genuinely, the guy just forgot to put it in park. He thought it was fine. He was going to the bathroom, and then in the TV show, they make him just look like a drunk bastard. They just make him look like a complete drunk idiot. Because my dad was actually sober. My dad actually was, he actually quit drinking when he was in high school because it wasn't for him. He never touched drugs. He was actually a devout humanitarian, and he just forgot to put it in park. So I don't really know why you're making him look like a drunk idiot on television. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and ruin his legacy? Why don't you go ahead and my dad was a really great guy, and we thought you were gonna make this documentary about him. Why don't you go ahead and shit on him? Okay? Why don't you go ahead and just absolutely take a big old poo right on his grave? I think that would be that would make this a lot more entertaining. Listen, we understand that your dad was a great man. All right, he founded the local soup kitchen. He ran the shelter. He ran the Alcoholics Anonymous group, which is very important. But we're gonna make him look like a drunk idiot. All right, we're going to ruin your family's memory of him and everybody else who even remotely knew him. How does that sound for you? It's just that's Hollywood, baby. That's Hollywood, okay? But yeah, construction sites, yeah, definitely. I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer. That's kind of a just like, yeah, in the area where there's giant metal contraptions that could crush a human being in the matter of seconds. Why don't we just, yeah, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Just throw your hard hat anywhere. Take a load off. Doesn't matter. You know those big holes? Excavators digging, but, I like a hole just as much as the next man, okay? I'm a big fan of holes, all right? Just every time I go to the beach, just digging holes. So, you know what? Just hang out in there. If he nicks you with the excavator, just be like, hey, bro, what are you doing? I wouldn't sweat it. I wouldn't sweat it. This is the biggest red flag you could possibly run into on a construction site is your manager or your foreman just being like, yeah, this is a really chill work environment. Everyone here is really relaxed. Don't even worry. We've got company, quote unquote, company policy. Don't even worry about following the rules. We like to be a little bit rebellious here. It's like, I feel like I don't really want to be hearing that from my boss at a construction site. Yeah, this is a really relaxed workplace. This is a nuanced environment. No one's anyone's boss. No one's going to boss you around, tell you what to do, work on your own and, stick a couple nails in a piece of plywood and call it a day. Next, or the reply from Alternative Rent 9307. And as a subset, table saws. All saws are dangerous, but most of them you can easily see the blade and are well aware that of your danger because it's right there, spinning at 1,000 plus RPM. Also, with most, the saw is only spinning while your finger is squeezing the trigger. Not so with a table saw. With them, the blade is 80% hidden under the table and is on and spinning all the time. As soon as you flip the switch to on and is spinning at 5,000 RPM. Table saws are very dangerous and do not mess with them. Yeah, you hope these are no-brainers, but, this is welcome to shop class, everybody. Welcome to this year's grade 9 shop class. Now, we like to think of this as really more of a sanctuary where you can just come and be yourself and relax. And we don't really want you to worry about the rules. We know school is all about rules, right? It's about following the rules. Get to class on time. Do this test. Learn this. Do your homework. Here we're more about creating just a really chill environment, really relaxed environment. So, if you cut your hand off on a table saw, it's no biggie, okay? We'll get some glue and super glue that bad boy back on there. How does that sound? Okay? Now, everyone just go and have fun. Free for all. All right, you know how in gym you get to choose whatever you want to do? You just get to go grab a dodgeball while some kids are playing basketball and just hit them with it. Play some floor hockey maybe. That's the vibe we want to bring here, okay? This is about freedom. This is about expressing yourself. So if you want to, hell, take the chainsaw out. You give a little nick to one of your friends. All right, give him a little love jab. With the chainsaw, okay? All right. I'm gonna go take a nap in my office, everybody. I'll see you after class. Yeah. Next one comes from Tits McGee. People in the middle of a road rage incident. It is amazing how a grown adult can absolutely lose their mind when inside a vehicle. That's what I'm telling you, man. It's claustrophobia. You really only have to mess with a person with road rage once, and I think you understand after that. It's like, oh, there is a person outside of my door, and they have a look in their eyes that I have only seen in a ravaging bear. Okay, I've only watched this on the Nature Channel. The only time I've ever actually seen someone with that look in their eye was the bear that almost killed Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. That is the only thing I can compare it to. Or they just come up to you looking like Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. In case anyone doesn't know who that is, I would encourage you to go watch No Country for Old Men and leave feeling absolutely horrified to your core that people like this exist. Okay, they really do. They really do. And I think either one of those people I would prefer not to run into in a road rage incident. It's not that, you know what? You cut me off. It's no big deal. Now that I see you outside of my window holding a gun, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think I'm in the wrong. So I think we should just put this all behind us. We all make mistakes. We all have a little screw up every once in a while. Okay. I called you out. I was wrong. I was wrong to do so. I think it's actually my fault. You know what? How about I give you my wallet? How about I give you everything in my wallet, and I pray that you will leave me alone and that I will never see you ever again, please. Please spare my life. Spare my life. Reply from Illusionist. The most important thing, why don't I just go yell at this complete stranger? This complete stranger who's clearly having themselves a destructive time with this traffic. Why don't I just, instigate something? This looks like a great situation to just poke the bear, poke the fire. I just love it. What a great idea that is. Oh, guess what? I'm being strung up and hung by my feet, and I'm being drawn and quartered by a person. That's great. Love that. Illusionist replies and says, the most important thing I've learned is if it's your mistake, you accept it and say sorry. I was on my way to see my mom at the hospital. I was in a hurry and I broke a car's side view mirror. The dude was angry. The first thing I said was, it's my mistake, I'll pay for the damages, and he calmed down. I gave him my number and asked him to send the bill. I thought he wouldn't easily let me go. There's no guarantee that I would pay right. Dude sent me the bill after 3 days. I paid the amount under a minute after I got his message. Said I was sorry again for the trouble. Dude sent a message saying thank you. What a nice dude. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go here. I think we should take... Oh, I know there's we're not on the exit, but I think I'm just going to take the high road on this one. We're not quite there at that exit, but I think that's the one that I'm going to go with. Taking the high road on this one. Oh, look at that. The high road's right there. Looks like I'm going to take that. Please don't murder me. Next one comes from Naughty Nina 23. If you're traveling, never mess with the locals. I've seen people pick fights with one of the locals, and 10 of his buddies came out from every shop around them. Do we have to tell people this? Okay, yeah, don't go into the favelas in Brazil and think you're gonna own the place, okay? I wouldn't head into the slums in some of these honestly, in any place. It doesn't matter in where I live here, okay? It doesn't matter where you live. If you're pulling up to a neighborhood that's not yours, I wouldn't expect... I would hope you're not the person to be like, you guys think you're tough, hey? You guys think you're real tough? You obviously have never run into me before, okay? I see your face tats. I see your face tats, and I raise you a white, straight male, okay? The thing is, only straight white men are doing this. This is straight white man behavior, okay? Only could a straight white man be like, you know what? I understand. There's a lot of conflict in your favelas, all right, in some of these areas, and I'm here to help. I'm here to help out the problem. I'm here to help solve this. He's just totally white knighting. He's just going into the... Listen, I think if we were all a little bit more civilized, we could sort these issues out. Problems aren't solved over guns, my friends. Okay, yeah, as he takes his knife and scalps you alive. This is the delusion that people in, I feel like privileged people just live with. Is like, yeah, let me just go and talk shit to a literal gangster. Somebody who worked with Pablo Escobar. Let me go and chat up his nephew. Just talk some sense into him, okay? I just don't think you're thinking straight. I don't think you've thought this through, all right? Drugs, it's not the way, man. It's not the way to a productive life, okay? Do you really want to sit at, in that chair at the end of your life and sit and be in that folks' home and think to yourself, I'm proud of what I did on this earth? No, so why don't we spread the love, okay? Why don't we stop with all the conflict, put down the guns, and have ourselves a little picnic? How does that sound, everybody? Yeah, welcome to receiving 9 bullet holes in your body. This is just, come on, dude. What are you thinking, man? Next one comes from Order 66, I think. I love going to Hawaii, but every single time there, some touristy Chad bro who messes around with a local guy in the most crowded area, and they can find, they mess with a local boy in the area they can find, they get their ass whooped in a truly amazing fashion. Like 20 other island locals just appear as it happens, but they don't even need to intervene. They just watch, laugh, and disperse as soon as it's done. Those beach cops look so exasperated each time they get called to the scene, too. Wait, I'm kind of confused. Is the Chad bro? Only 20 locals, it just happens. They don't even need to. So only a couple need to intervene. What I'm getting from this is, yeah. I'm not even talking about, that's just the chill areas. If you're the Chad on the beach and you think that you can go and flex on a couple of the local schoolboys, I think you'd be surprised, okay? You might hit the gym every single day of your life, but these people, they do a different kind of work, okay? They do the work of keeping the community safe. You might have gym experience, they've got life experience, okay? They've lived many lives. All right, these are the same guys on the corner who in 5 seconds can just make you can chop up like a little wooden structure with a machete. Within like 5 seconds, it's like the most beautiful art piece you've ever seen. I'm going to trust the fact that these guys know these guys have some knowledge that I'm not aware of. All right, who does that? Who goes to another person's like country or town or area and is just like, you know what? Let me cause it. I hope you don't mind, but I'm about to cause a disturbance. Okay, I'm about to just disrespect the people who live here. Like, what possible outcome could you be looking for? Like, oh yeah, I'm now so surprised that pretty much everyone came to gang up on me and beat the living crap out of me. Yeah, it's probably because you chose to fight with the entire community. You decided to pick a fight with one person, but newsflash, in small communities, everyone knows each other. You're not going to run in there like you're Biff Tannen, okay, running the scene. Okay? They're going to make you regret that. They're going to make you pay for it. You're going to get your money's worth out of that trip. That's for sure. Next one comes from Electric Sheepskin. Food poisoning. If you've ever had it for real, your personal food safety standards will rise significantly. Now, I feel like I've only ever gotten mild food poisoning, but I think I've also, in a lot of points in my life, been like, this looks like those little cartoon images of what they used to draw of like a nasty looking Krabby Patty from SpongeBob. You know those like really overly detailed images that SpongeBob would just cut to? Maybe some of my listeners aren't fully aware, but every once in a while in the TV show SpongeBob, it would get to a cut scene and it would be an incredibly drawn, detailed photo of something, and there's one of just a Krabby Patty looking like a foot fungus. I think at those points in time, I've really done some inner reflection. That's where I've done my most. My life is not that deep, folks. I think that's when I've done some of the most worthwhile contemplation. Is like, this looks like a fungus Krabby Patty. I think I'm going to skip out on this one. But even mild food poisoning is enough to make you just. It's so tough because you're so hungry, but you just can't eat because you're just gonna puke everything up. I can't imagine what actual. It's like, yeah, maybe next time I'm not gonna go for the gas station sushi. Maybe next time I'm not gonna trust a a tinfoiled burger that you find in the fridge section of the local Circle K. I don't know if you've seen those, but yeah, they're selling tin burgers now at the Circle K. I feel like that's just a recipe for a lawsuit. Like, I feel like they have to write on the packages, like, contains milk, wheat, eggs, soy. Side effects can and may include cancer, abdominal pain, and may cause death. I think that's like, we need to start treating gas station food the same as we treat like those prescription drugs that we see, may cause heart palpitations, angina, and irregular heartbeat if you eat this gas station taco. You want one of those gas station glizzies, the 7-Eleven glizzies or the 7-Eleven taquito? Well, you should know on the package that you have now increased your risk of prostate cancer by 25%. But that's not 100, so keep on trucking, and I'm sure that you'll find out sooner or later. Reply from Come Here Duck. Adding polluted water to this. Wife was a slip and fall away from dying when she drank polluted water. We had a flooding in surrounding areas, and I believe a pipe may have ruptured in the area, causing soil and sediment to seep into the water main. Long story short, she was thirsty and guzzled a bunch of water from the fridge dispenser, which is filtered, I might add. She got halfway through her cup when she realized the water smelled funny. Cue kidney infection, and she was 34 weeks pregnant too. Oh my God. So it ended up causing her water to break early and our son to be born premature. He's now 4 and perfectly happy and healthy. Okay, maybe lead with that. Maybe lead with the son is perfectly happy and healthy. You're making me think that your son was born with severe birth defects. Okay, don't scare us like that. Okay, jeez. That's like, saying you were in a terrible car accident and it was violently awful, but you're okay. It's like, why don't you just lead with the, he's okay, he was in a bad car accident, but he's fine. I maybe wouldn't lead with the car looks like it just got done in a demolition derby. Okay, I probably wouldn't lead with that information and then follow up with but I'm completely fine. I think we should, don't scare us like that, especially when we're reading this. But yeah, I feel like the first part of that is just drinking polluted water. Like, I feel like you can't really blame your wife for that. I feel like it's like, that's kind of like, how would you know? Like, how would you have, I'm pretty sure she didn't, look at the water and was like, the water just tastes so much better when it has this rusty brown color. The water just hits different. It's more hydrating when it smells like a lead pipe. When it smells like rust, like tinny, that metally smell, I just get a different level of hydration. I think I'm honestly built a little differently. Like, I feel like I'm built more mechanically. I feel like at this point I might as well start drinking motor oil. It's my favorite thing. Just sit back, beautiful summer day. Maybe you're feeling a little sore, maybe a little rigid. Just down some motor oil and take a load off. I think that's kind of the message we're getting here. Is feeling bad? Just windshield wiper fluid really cleans out your insides. Try antifreeze. You ever tried that? That'll really clear out your insides. Literally, it will liquefy your insides. Yeah, that's a tough one. I feel like you can't. It feels like due to experience. It's like, I'm sure your wife was not looking at the water and this disgusting brown poo water and was just like, something about this is screaming really appetizing. Yeah, I feel like, come on, bro. I'm sure she knew. That's kind of obvious. Next one comes from IllSimple1706. Strangers. Flipped one off. He tracked me down and threatened to murder me. Ugh. Yeah, this is the thing. This is why we don't live in this is what happens when we don't live in communal societies anymore, where everybody knows everybody. It's like, oh yeah, don't mess with Jeff over there. He's got a bit of a hot head. No, you're just provoking an absolute stranger It's like, yeah, some people see the middle finger and they interpret that as, oh, so you just signed your death warrant. Okay. Oh, you want to give me the middle finger? How would you feel? How would you like to be murdered in my basement? How would you like to be chained up inside my basement? I think, yeah, especially in like a stranger in a city. Like, okay, you're in a small town. I feel like it's like, maybe. Who cares? Maybe, But in a big city, you know, that could be one of millions of people. And, you know, I feel like as the amount of people increases, so do the amount of psychopaths and just absolute killers, people who just don't give a shit. And, yeah, to threaten to track somebody down, that's dedication, honestly. I feel like that shows another level of retaliation against being flipped off. Yeah, you disrespected me. I am going to threaten to murder your entire family. You thought you were going to come up and disrespect me like that? Give me a little middle finger? You thought that was a little innocent move? Flip me off? I'm going to turn your skin inside out. How about that? Reply from observation. Similar experience. Small town. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Well, I clearly don't know anything. Watch me flip somebody off in a small town, and this is the last podcast you're ever gonna hear from me. You're like, yeah, I was killed. Small town. 1 a.m. I was getting tailgated by someone flashing their high beams on a small 2-lane road, and they refused to pass. So I flipped them off and kept driving. They proceeded to then drive in front of me, attempted to block the road, and got out of their vehicle. There was enough space to pass their truck on the shoulder, so I just floored it. They punched my window as I passed them, so I killed the lights and drove home by moonlight. No brakes, just downshifting and shitting myself. Yeah, if you had a little bit of brown in the underpants, I would not blame you. I had to clean the skin/blood off my car in the morning. Wow. Yeah, people are sketch. Holy crap. To clean the blood and skin off, that person was just like, that again, that's another where we run into somebody who just has absolutely nothing to lose. They don't care about losing some skin off their knuckles. To be honest, they're probably already halfway down to the bone. Maybe even more. They're already just reaching the bone. You don't want to get punched by this person because it actually will cut you. They have white knuckles, not from squeezing their fist so hard, but from the fact that they've punched so many hard objects that their skin has now just withered away and turned into complete bare bones. Next one comes from, this is a weird one. Next one comes from Interesting Onion 787. Don't fuck with someone sleeping. Easy way to get beat up by the nicest person. I don't know, bro. I feel like that might just be a you thing. I think your one friend has a little bit of maybe some repressed anger. Because I've been woken up by a lot of people, and I've never once just bawled out into a frenzy of violent anger. It's like, yeah, he's a pretty chill guy, other than the fact, you know, if you see him napping, don't wake him up, because he will gouge your eyes out. He will just start wailing his fists around uncontrollably. Yeah, I learned real quick, you know, other than that, great guy, you know. But if you interrupt him while he's in his beauty sleep, you know, he's got to get that beauty sleep. You know, he's got to have the face mask on and do everything. He preps for it real hard. But, yeah, if you wake him up during that, just be prepared. You're going to need veneers. Am I right? Am I right? Right? We all know that guy. We all know someone like that, don't we? No. No, we don't. This is concerning. I think you need to have a bit better choice of friends, because this just sounds like it's a ticking time bomb. All right? Your friend sounds just like a loose cannon. Like, it just sounds like it's one time it's gonna be sleeping, and then the next time, you know, you I don't know, you accidentally eat some of his food, or you might who knows, and next thing you know, your head is now detached from your body. You know what? So you took something out of the fridge, and he's gonna put something into the fridge via your organs. He's going to harvest them. You're going to wake up in the bathtub with stitches around your kidneys. That's crazy. I feel like that person just thought that was like so normal. Like, yeah, doesn't everybody know that? Guys, right? Don't wake up your best friend when he's sleeping, or else he's going to punch you in the face repeatedly till you have no teeth anymore. Right? Like, you guys don't know that? You guys don't get out? You guys haven't been there before? Jeez, wow, I'm starting to feel like I paid a lot of money for these veneers now. Yeah, he made me pay for them. Yeah, I really did. Yeah. All right, folks, we're going to end it for today's episode right there. Thank you all so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast. Maybe there's a little PSA at the end to anybody who's listening, but I think next week's episode is going to be a pre-recorded episode because I am getting my wisdom teeth removed, and I highly doubt I'll be able to record an episode after I do that, and I'm getting them, I'm getting them out on Friday, so I don't think that I'll be able to record an episode by Tuesday. So I think the episode that you hear by Tuesday will be a pre-recorded episode, but I will let you guys know in that episode's in the beginning of that episode. So thank you all so much for tuning in to this week's podcast. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all so much. Remember to check out the Instagram and the TikTok and the YouTube channel at Reddit Asks Us Podcast, where I post new short form content every single day. And remember, please leave us a rating. Like always, leave us a rating and review. I appreciate that so much. Hit up the subreddit r/Reddit Asks Us. And other than that, I think we're all straight. We're all square. All right. Things have come full circle. Thank you all so much for tuning into another week's episode. I love each and every single one of you. I'll see you all next week. Peace out. Love you.